Big question you should be asking yourself right now, what are you doing to help support your immune system? Look, I know it's probably cliche at this point because all you're hearing is blah, 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 wash your hands, but let's talk about a couple more things that people aren't noting so much. The big one I wanted to talk about on this video is antiviral versus just general immunity and or antibacterial. What a lot of people don't realize is that viruses aren't alive. So even though they act a lot like an organism that wants to continue spreading itself, they're not technically alive. There are 7 criteria to define something as being alive, and viruses only meet 6 of them. If you're curious about which criteria it is that the viruses don't meet, it's that they don't change over time. So like a baby is different from an adult, like that kind of change. Viruses look exactly the same when they're created as when they die. That being said, it's why they're so confusing for a lot of people to understand, because they act like they're alive. There's so many things that they do that are alive, and clearly they do want to spread themselves still. They do have these survival instincts, but there's pieces of them that don't quite make sense in terms of biology, because biology is the study of life. Viruses aren't alive. That's what makes them so much harder to kill. That's not to say that antibacterials don't work against them. We've seen a lot of demonstrations recently, especially with the current outbreak, about how viruses will react to soap. They'll get away from it, basically. So there's still definitely benefits and things that viruses don't like that bacteria also don't like. But antibacterial soaps or treatments or things like that don't actually kill viruses. I know that sounds scary and grim, but that's why I wanted to do this video, because we're gonna talk about some general immune boosting things that do still help your body fight viruses, and then also talk about a couple key things that are actually antiviral, proven to be whatever it is that viruses genuinely don't like and will actually be deactivated by. I'm gonna start saying deactivated instead of killed when I'm talking about viruses, because again, can't exactly kill something that's not alive. So, general immunity things first. Of course, giving yourself regular exercise, drinking a lot of water, sleeping well, doing things to reduce stress. Those are lifestyle things that should be a part of everyday life that you're doing to build up your immune system. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't regularly do all of those things, and some people don't even do any of them. But now that we have some more time inside, at least for the time being, if you're watching this while the whole coronavirus outbreak is happening, it's a good time to take your extra time to start implementing those lifestyle things. Let's start building those bodies back up so that when the world starts turning again, we can come back stronger than before. When we're talking specifically about food, the reason that so many people are recommending a nutritious diet that is veggie and nutrient dense is because that's where you're finding a lot of the vitamins and minerals that are antiviral and immune boosting. So some of those key ingredients for immune boosting: vitamin C. In fact, I was just reading a study this morning that high doses of vitamin C have actually been used on multiple groups of COVID-19 patients, and they're seeing a 5-day faster recovery because of the vitamin C. Keep in mind, when I say high dose, I'm talking 10 to 20 grams, and in one case they used 50 grams. For reference, that's like 10 to 20 to 50 packets of Emergen-C, which is 1,000% of your daily vitamin C. It's a shit ton of vitamin C. That being said though, it is proof that vitamin C is a really good immune support. So even if you're not sick, we should be making sure that we have high doses of vitamin C in our bodies daily, eating oranges, apples, taking a supplement if you want. I'll throw a link below for one that I really like that's just in capsule form, and it's highly effective vitamin C, bioavailable, all that good stuff. Couple other nutrients that you should be looking at: vitamin D. Very, very useful in improving the immune system. Vitamin D comes from walking around outside. Go stand in the sun. If you're unfortunate like me and it's been kind of rainy in Central Texas, of course, lined up with quarantine, find those times in between the rain. I know it doesn't feel like you're getting that much sunlight, but being outside is better than being inside when you're trying to get vitamin D. There's still some sunlight coming through. You're still gonna get some benefit. Just go out there and try and be outside when you can. to a safe capacity, of course. Talking about a couple more specific nutrients, reishi, which is a mushroom, has actually been proven to help improve the function of your killer cells. So it's not just like, oh, immune boosting. It's like, no, we have studied this and it actually teaches your killer cells to be stronger and fight more, which is great. Similarly, ashwaganda, which is another great supplement for adrenal stress, so decreases the stress, it actually increases the immune system as well, similarly to reishi, where it improves the function of your killer cells and their sensitivity. So that's an interesting note because, as I mentioned in the beginning, decreasing overall stress is very useful for the immune system. And when you decrease your stress, you'll notice oftentimes in times where you're on vacation, maybe you'll decrease your stress because you're not at work or whatever. And then you'll notice you start getting sniffly, or maybe you even get sick. I used to always get sick during Christmas break when I was in school. And it's because you're decreasing your mental and physical stress enough that your immune system kicks back up and realizes there's some crap in there and starts fighting it off. So while it sounds weird that decreasing stress and increasing immune response might actually make you sick, you were actually carrying the pathogen all along and your body was just not reacting to it, which is actually bad because it allows the pathogen to spread further before your body deals with it. So again, that was a spiel on ashwaganda. It decreases stress, increases immune function of T cells, and is extremely useful in helping your body fight off any sort of disease. Elderberry extract is another common thing that's used for just immune boosting. It's been proven to decrease stress response, and it's been questioned as to whether it possibly helps with the fight against seasonal allergies, possibly flu, and it definitely has a lot of antioxidant properties, which again ties back into decreasing overall stress on the body. Okay, so those are some general immunity boosting tips. Now, as far as antiviral goes, there's a couple really interesting ingredients in the nutrient table that have been proven to be antiviral, meaning viruses react really poorly to it. The use of it seems to increase healing time and or possibly prevent viruses from ever reacting in the person's body if they're supplementing with them. So let's talk about those. Lysine is the first one I wanted to cover. This is an amino acid, and for whatever reason, viruses hate it. So supplementing with lysine is very interesting, and I believe you can find it in pretty accessible capsules. If you have a nearby IV or shot clinic that will do injectable vitamins or blood transmitted vitamins, that is a great thing to ask them for if you're trying to supplement properly with nutrients to defend yourself. Similarly, glycine with a G is another amino acid you can ask for. Similar effects to lysine, viruses hate it. The big one I wanted to talk about was zinc. And this one I think is more commonly known in the alternative health space because there's so much research on zinc. I had a friend phrase it the other day as if you suck on a zinc lozenge, and it's kind of like one of those Ricolas or whatever, except it's not full of bullshit. Suck on a zinc lozenge, and it literally like forces the virus to detach from your throat. I've definitely used these in times where I'm starting to get a scratchy throat, be it from allergies or I'm scared at something else. I'll start popping zinc lozenges and it feels like it helps so much. And not only does it feel like that, there's research to back it. Viruses hate zinc. I was just doing some research on them earlier, and it turns out that not only do they highly discourage viruses from being active, there are certain studies that seem to claim that zinc fully deactivated certain viruses, including the swine flu, H1N1. Obviously, COVID is still a relatively new disease, especially the strain that we're looking at now, but at the very least, we know that in similar viruses, including common cold, including various flus, and including animal to human transmitted diseases like H1N1, it's been highly effective. So keeping some zinc on you can be very important right now, and making sure to supplement with that just as a precaution is great. And if you're already feeling sick, zinc is definitely something I would recommend. Now, I hope I made it a little bit clearer about what antiviral versus antibacterial and just general immunity are, what the differences are. Recap: viruses aren't alive, bacteria are. That's why it's different for killing each of them. In times like this, it's very important that we are supporting both our immune system and gearing our body up to fight virus just in case. And again, if you're already sick and you think it's a virus, adding in these supplements is very crucial to helping you have a faster recovery time, lessened symptoms, all those things. And I'm totally serious when I tell you guys, this was not planned. I just wanted to throw this out there. Mighty Gum is a new company that created this immunity gum. They literally contacted me like a month ago and wanted to just send me some so I could try it. And then all of this stuff happened. So of course I've been trying it this week since I got the product. First of all, just love their branding. Packaging is great, but also they have 11 immunity boosters in here, including a range of vitamins, all listed from which fruit they extracted it from, so you know it's a bioavailable version. And they include zinc, elderberry, and several of the adaptogens that I mentioned on this video. It's got ashwaganda, it's got reishi, and it's also got astragalus, I think is how you say it, which kind of seemed like indefinite on whether the research isn't super there, but the people who do suggest you use it claim that it's got all sorts of anti-disease properties. So yeah, I have been chewing a piece of Mighty Gum a day since I got the package, because I got the package, I believe, right when quarantine really started happening, and it tastes great. The texture's a little weird at first, but just chew on it for like 5 bites and it turns into a gum. It's kind of what it's like. If you look at the pieces, they're little pellet things, so that kind of makes sense. Very impressed by how they were able to include all of these nutrient-dense things. There's no sugar in it. The sweetener is stevia extract, so highly approve. It's a clean gum. I'm very picky about my gums because a lot of them have aspartame and other crap in them, but this one does not. The owner is super cool. Very new company again. The flavor right now that they have out is berry mint, so it's kind of what it sounds like. It tastes pretty berry at first and then it kind of fades into a minty flavor. If you're looking for a product that has zinc in it, antiviral properties, as well as general immune boosters, there's some good percentages of those things that I talked about in this video. In this, I did notice that a lot of alternative health stores that would have zinc lozenges or other antiviral supplements have been out. It's kind of like the toilet paper shortage in the regular grocery stores. I went to a local pharmacist that does a lot of adaptogens and things like that the other day, and they had a sign plastered on their door that they are totally out of zinc lozenges, which means they're probably also hard to find online at this point. So Mighty Gum is a great company option to go with. I held that weird. Mighty Gum, there's the label, you can see it, they're great. I'm gonna link to them below. If you have any questions, please let me know, and stay safe out there, guys. So yeah, I've been chewing a piece of Mighty Gum each day since this whole quarantine. Let's try that again.